for the cotton goods, cash for the hard goods.
Cash for the fancy goods, cash for the soft goods.
Cash for the noggins and the pickings and the purples.
Cash for the hogshead, cash and damage. Cash goes the crackers and the pickles and the flathead.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
What do you get?
What do you talk?
You can talk, you can talk, you can bicker, you can talk, you can bicker, you can talk, you can talk. You talk all you want, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory.
Wait, come on with these boys. Make the trouble, make the people want to go. Want to get up and go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 22, 23 miles to the galaxy.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Who's gonna vision that a little bitty 2x4 at the store anymore?
What do you talk?
What do you get?
What do you talk?
At the bottom of the $10, take a gander at the store, at the boss at the store, at the present day store, at the present day market, departmentalized grocery store.
What do you talk? 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 What do you get? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
If you talk, you can bicker. If you talk, you can bicker. If you talk, you talk all you want, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory.
Why is the unity that is going to trouble? The unity that put the crackers in a package in a package. The unity that is in an air pack and a carry back to make the cracker barrel obsolete.
Obsolete.
Cracker Barrel went out the window with the metal touch and cut one drop out of stove. Came to your road, double traveling smells and stayed pretty hard.
No, it didn't, but you gotta know the territory.
Gone.
Gone is the hogshead, cascade, damage on. Gone is the sugar barrel, pickle barrel, mountain. Gone is the top and the tail and the tears.
Ever meet a fellow by the name of Hill?
Hill.
Just a minute.
Never heard of any salesman Hill.
Now, he doesn't know the territory.
What's that little fly?
Never worry about it, Ron.
Never worries about his line.
Or the Cracker Barrel leading on something so that you need a biscuit in an airtight sanitary package with a Model T Ford. Just a minute. Never worries about it, Ron.
Never worried about his line?
Well, doggone thing. He's just a paint me, bell ring, big ball, great dome, necker, nothing, reach, rolling in on the bullseye sail. That's Professor Harold Hill.
Tell us what's his line.
He's a fake and he doesn't know the territory.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
He's a music man.
He's a what?
He's a music man. He sells clarinets to the kids in the town. Big trombones, the rat-tat drums. Big. And the piccolo, you want to the shiny gold radio.
Well, I don't know much about painting, but I do know you can't make a living selling big trombone. No, sir. Mandolin picks for hat, and here and there Jews for hat.
The fellow sells bands, boys bands. I don't know how he does it, but he lives like a king, and he gathers and he wants and he shines. When the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But he doesn't know the territory.
River City, we cross the state line into Iowa. River City, population 2,212. Cigarettes illegal in this state.
If you fellas are finally through, I'll tell you about Harold Hill.
You really know Harold Hill?
Never seen him before in my life, but I can tell you this, he's given every one of us a black eye. After he's worked over a town, the next salesman through automatically gets tarred, feathered, right out to the city limits on a rail. Why do you think that's funny? Well, it happens to you. Your hair never grows back.
Well, why should he go down to town and obey?
Because in order to sell band instruments, uniforms, and instruction books, you have to teach them kids how to play.
Well.
And he formed the little boys band with himself as a director.
What's wrong with that?
Well, because he don't know one note from another. That's what's wrong with that. Why, he can't tell the difference between a bass drum and a pipe organ. I'll catch up to that two-bit swiveling thing over here. And when I do, I'll squeal on him so loud.
Wow, Charlie, you're mad. You'll have to go around and catch up with that fella.
Won't be on this trip. Not in Iowa. Not even the great Professor Harold Hill will try to sell them neck-forward high guys here. Oh, believe I caught your name.
I don't believe I threw it.
I'm wondering if you can tell me where the center of town is.
Yes, right down the middle of the street.
Well, you folks sure do know how to make a body feel at home.
There's nothing halfway along the highway to treat you and we treat you, which we may not do our own. There's an Iowa kind, a satchel chip on the shoulder, attitude we've never been without that beating home. We can go as we're falling thermometer in December, and you ask about our weather in July, and we're so damn stubborn we can stand without your nose as far away as town and never see eye to eye. But what the heck, you're welcome. Join us at the picnic. You can have a meal of all the food you bring yourself and really ought to give Iowa a try.
Provided you are contrary.
Good morning there, Shin.
It is if you want to go around in your drawers all day, be late to the program.
And there I was, in Madison Hospital.
And no one came to see.
Cousin Will never come, Aunt Bertha never come.
Wait, Alma, your Aunt Bertha's dead.
She is?
Wait, she wouldn't have come anyway.
We go as a falling thermometer in December. If you ask about our weather in July, and we're so damn stubborn we can stand without your nose as far away as time and never see eye to eye. Love will give you our shirt, and all that to go with it. If your clothes should happen to die.
What the heck? You're welcome. Glad to have you with us. Even though we may not ever mention it again.
You really ought to give Iowa some kind, Iowa. The dudes are going down more marches now. It's city, here the games play. I'll sing in Iowa to my child.
Ah, yes, Mr. Squires, I'm in need for a rig on Sunday if you could accommodate me.
Then I expect you need to speak to the man in charge of hiring rigs, who is late, as usual.
Gregory Marcellus Washburn. What? Greg? Professor Hill's the name. Harold Hill. Oh, great. What are you doing here? And why are you coming? Oh, I didn't know I was coming myself. And besides, how did I know you'd end up in a tank town like this? You were a pretty big slicker back when you were in business with me.
I had too many close shaves the way you were. Besides, I got myself a nice comfortable gal. And we'll talk about my boss's niece.
Oh, gone legitimate, huh? I always knew you'd come to no good. So, give me the lowdown here.
So, what's the pitch?
Oh,
Don't tell me you're back in the band business. Last time I heard you was in a steam automobile.
well, I was.
What happened?
Somebody actually invented one.
No.
Now, give me the lowdown here, Mark.
Well, you won't get anywhere in the music business with these stubborn animals. Besides, you got a stubborn beauty who expose you before you get your grip like that.
Now, male or female?
The music teacher? She's a librarian. Female.
Ah, perfect. You'll have to point her out when she walks by.
I will. There she goes.
Well, I'll do it, but I won't like it.
That's not her, that's my son's wife. So how are you going to start the pitch?
Oh, same old way. Keep that music teacher off balance and then save your town from the terrible trouble it's in.
River City's in trouble.
Well, then I'll have to create some. I've got to create a desperate need for a boys band. You remember. So, tell me, Mars, what's new around here? What can I use?
Nothing. Except the billiard powder's got a new pool table.
You mean they've never seen a pool table before?
No, only billiards.
They've never seen a table with pockets. That'll do. All right, remember, Mars. Music teacher.
Music teacher.
Are you Mr. Dunlop?
Why, yes, I am.
Well, either you're closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you are unaware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Right here said trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a billiard player, certainly mighty proud to say it, always mighty proud to say it. I consider that the hours I spend with a cue in my hand is golden. Don't you cultivate a horse sense and a cool head and a keen eye? Did you ever take and try to give an ironclad lead to yourself from a 3-rail billiard shot? Well, just as I say, it takes judgment, brains, and maturity to score in this ball-like game. I say that any brewer can take and shove a ball in a pocket, and we call that a slop. The first big step down the road to the depths of degradation. First, medicinal wine from a teaspoon, then beer from a bottle. And the next thing you know, your son is playing for money in a pitchback suit. Hey, I'm listening to some big out-of-town Jasper here to tell all about horse race gambling. Not a wholesome trot race, no, but a race where they'll sit down and ride on that horse. I'd like to see some stuck-up jockey boy riding on Dan Patch, Mitchell Boyle, well, I should say. Now, my friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets in the table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum with a capital B and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. And all week long, your River City, you're going to be a frittering away. I say, your young men will be frittering. Just frittering away there, noontime, supper time, short time too. Get the ball in the pocket, never mind getting dandelions cold for the screen door patch for that beefsteak pounding. Never mind pumping any water till your parents are caught with the cistern empty on Saturday night, and that's trouble, oh yes, lots and lots of trouble. I'm talking about the kids in the knickerbockers, sure tell young ones, picking in the pool all winter after school, and that's trouble. Right here in River City. Trouble with the capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. Now I know all you folks are the right kind of parents. I'm going to be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation go on while they're loafing around that hall? They'll be trying out people, trying out cubits, trying out tailor-mades like cigarette fiends, and bragging all about how they're going to cover up a telltale breath with Sin City one fight night. They'll leave the pool hall, heading for the dance in the armory, libertine men, scarlet women, and ragtime, shameless music that'll drag your son and your daughter by the arms of a jungle animal instinct mass stereo. Friends, the idle brain is the devil's playground trouble. Right here in River City. With a capital Mothers of River City, heed the warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. When your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a nicotine stain on his index finger? A dime knot hidden in the cord crib. Is he starting to memorize jokes from Captain Billy's Whizbang? Are certain words creeping into his conversation? Words like swell. Or soldier old man. Well, if so, you got trouble. Oh, you got trouble. I hear River City. With a capital T that rhymes with P and that stands for boom. We surely got trouble. I hear River City. Remember the main, the Plymouth Rock, and that golden rule. Our children still have trouble. Oh, yes. You got terrible, terrible trouble. That game with the 15 numbered balls is the devil's too. Yeah, you got trouble, trouble, trouble. Oh, yes, you got trouble. Here, got them in trouble. With a T. Capital T. Got rhyme with P. And that stands for pool. Remember, my friends, listen to me. I'm screaming. I come to win once. Excuse me, did you drop your...
No.
Didn't I meet you in...
No.
I'll only be in town a short while.
Good.
That you, daughter?
Yes, Mama. Keep on, Amaryllis. I'll be there in a minute. Hello, Mama. Fine, dear. Now your exercises.
Yes, Mom.
I don't remember the library being open last 4th of July.
It was, Mama, all evening. Mama, a man with a suitcase has been following me all over town.
Oh, who?
I don't know. I've never met him before.
What did he say anything?
He tried.
Did you say anything?
Mama, of course not. Now, don't dawdle, Amaryllis. So, do, la, re, ti, mi, a little slower, and please keep the fingers curved and nice and high as you possibly can. Don't get faster, dear.
Well, if you don't mind my saying so, it wouldn't have hurt you to find out what the gentleman wanted.
I know what the gentleman wanted.
But what, dear?
You'll find it in Balzac.
What? Excuse me for living, but I've never read it.
Neither has anyone else in this town.
There you go again with that same old comment about the low mentality of River City people and taking it all too much to heart.
Now, Mama, as long as the Madison Public Library was entrusted to me for the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I can't help my concern that the ladies of River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice.
But darling, when a woman's got a husband and you've got none, why should she take advice from you? Even if you can't quote Balzac and Shakespeare, know some other highfalutin Greeks.
Mama, you don't mind my saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject.
No, I haven't changed the subject. I'm talking about that stranger.
What stranger?
With the suitcase who may be your very last chance.
Mama, do you think that I'd allow a comment
one can say can no women. You can come for yourself out of your Irishman came for I will stop it. Your library full of books.
Well, Amaryllis, isn't that just the best I've ever heard?
Thank you. Can I have a drink, please?
May I have a drink?
May I have a drink, please?
Yes.
Winthrop, it's after dark. Is that a way to walk into the house?
Hello.
Oh, that won't do at all. I'll have a kiss from me boy. The lady over there is your sister, young man.
Hello, Winthrop.
Well, Winthrop, where's your manners?
I'm having a party on Saturday. Will you please come? I would especially like it very much if you'd come. Winthrop?
Winthrop, Amaryllis has asked you to her party. Are you going or aren't you?
No.
Oh, no what?
No, thank you.
You know the little girl's name?
We won't say Amaryllis because of us. Because it's Liz.
Well, we know all about his list, Amaryllis. Well, Winthrop,
I'll bet he won't say it. No, thank you, Amaryllis. Amaryllis. He's crying. Why does he have to get so mad at people just because he lisps?
It's not just because he lisps, dear. That's just part of it.
What's the other part?
Never mind. It's just that he doesn't talk very much anymore.
Not even to you and your mother?
No, we all have to be a little patient.
I'm patient, even though he doesn't ever talk to me. But I do him every night. I say goodnight to him on the evening star. You have to do the very second you see it too, or it doesn't count. Good night, my Winthrop. Good night. Sleep tight.
Oh, there, darling. Don't cry. If not Winthrop, there'll be someone else.
Never! I'll end up an old man like you! I'm sorry, Miss Barry. Can I play my crosshand piece?
May I?
May I play my crosshand piece?
Yes.
See, without a sweetheart, you have no one to say goodnight to on the evening star.
I know, Amaryllis, but for the time being, you can say goodnight, my someone. You can put the right name in when the right someone comes along.
All right, it's better than nothing.
Yes, it is. Now you can play your crosshand piece.
Now I may play my crosshand piece.
Good night, my someone, good night, my love. Sleep tight, my someone, sleep tight.
the technician for leading the singing. And to Ethel Koppelmeyer, our fine player piano player. As mayor of River City, I would like to thank all you River citizens. I'd like to welcome you to our 4th of July exercises set up indoors in Madison Gymnasium. Account the weather. 4 score. And 7 years. Oh. The members of the school board will now present a patriotic tableau. The members of the school board will not present a patriotic tableau. Some disagreement about costumes, I suppose. Instead, the Watayi girls of the local wigwam of Iyawaha will present a spectacle, My Wife. In which my wife, Eulalie the technician, will take a leading part. Mrs. Shin will recover. No thanks to a certain young ruffian who is a disgrace to our city. 4 score. The Page fireworks spectacle, the last days of Poppy I will take place this evening, provided it stops raining by 9:30. It will be in Madison Picnic Park, in the far meadow across the creek from the pest house.
How can it be raining? Is that fair?
That's all the old fair for so.
Is that actual? You know it, Casey.
Hey, you wouldn't make it in the banking business, actor.
That's a man. Come on,
Just a minute! Order! Let's have order here!
Number 8's lady here tonight, so I'll make it early.
She's late, all right. She's right on time. How's your watching
Members of the school board, please stop bickering in public.
All I said was...
Never mind. 4 score. We heard there was a pool table in town.
That's what I heard.
Just a minute.
Well, is it pool table or isn't it?
Will you let me get on with these exercises? Let's protect our children. Prevent sin and corruption. Smite that down, keep our young boys pure. Friends, may I have your attention, please? Attention, please. I can deal with this trouble, friends, with the wave of my hand, this very hand. Please observe me if you will. I'm Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize the River City Boys' big
Oh, think, my friends, how could any pool table ever hope to compete with a gold trombone? Ra-da, ra-da-da-da-da, ra-ra. Remember, my friends, what a handful of trumpet players did to the famous, fabled walls of Jericho. Well, billiard parlor walls come tumbling down. Oh, a band to do it, my friends. Oh, yes, it's in a boys' band. Do you hear me? I said River City's got to have a boys' band, and I mean she needs it today. Well, Professor Harold Hill's on hand, and River City's going to have that boys' band. As sure as the Lord made little green apples, and that band's going to be in uniform. Johnny, Willie, Teddy, Fred, and you'll see the glitter of crashing cymbals, and hear the thunder of rolling drums, the shimmer of trumpets, tan-ta-ra! And you'll feel something akin to the electric thrill I once enjoyed when Gilmore, Liberati, Pat Conway, the great Creator, W.C. Handy, and John Philip Sousa all came to town on the very same historic day. 76 trombones led the big parade, with 110 cornets close at hand. They were followed by rows and rows of the finest virtuosos, the cream of every famous band. 76 trombones come the morning sun, with 110 cornets right behind. They were more than 1,000 reeds springing up like wheat. There were horns of every shape and kind. There were copper-bottomed timpani and horse platoons, thundering, thundering all along the way. Double-bell euphoniums and big bassoons, each bassoon having its big fat say. There were 50 mounted cannon in the battery, thundering, thundering louder than before. Clarinets of every size and trumpeters who could improvise a whole octave higher than the score.
That man's a spellbinder. Why, I haven't seen Iowa people this excited since the night Frank got his string and was laid on the mat for 3.5 hours without moving a muscle. exciting. Never mind. I want that man's credentials. Grab that hook! He almost blew up Mrs. Shin!
Hey, Professor. Look his hand off this one. Ringleader, don't you know? He does, the game does.
Gee, Clyde, let me go.
Yo, wild kid, yo, hanging around my oldest girl. His father's one of them day laborers south of town. Tagging down Main Street after my oldest girl last Sunday.
I wasn't even tagging.
Don't you contradict me!
We was just walking together. Gee, Clyde.
You watch your phraseology. I know what you was a-doing.
I see.
My little Gracie, senior. Men, I want that spellbinder's credentials.
Oh, Constable. I'll be responsible for the boy.
You don't know the boy. Not in much trouble. Got a gang waiting for him outside.
Oh, I'll be careful. Tommy, I want to talk to you about the band.
Ah, gee, Professor, that's for the little kids.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about you playing in the band. You're mechanically minded, aren't you? Ever done anything with perpetual motion?
I nearly had it a couple times.
You're my man, Tommy. Do you know that nobody's ever created a marching piccolo player music holder? There's just no place to hang the music.
Gee, Clyde, I wonder where I can get some wire from.
Check down in your basement. That's where people keep wire, Tommy. Oh, Tommy!
Yes, sir.
Now, Constable, this is how you break up a game. Miss, excuse me, young lady. Yes, what's your name?
Zanita, I didn't have any idea you were beckoning to me. Yeah.
Tommy, this is Anita. Do you know Tommy Gilas?
Well,
Tommy, I would like for you to walk this young lady home.
only accepting I'm not going home. I'm going to the library. Yeah.
Then walk this young lady home by way of the library. By way of the candy kitchen.
Yes, sir. Do I have to?
Oh, you have to.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You're a pretty smart young fella. But he had a couple mistakes.
Oh, what was that?
You see, Mary Shin helps own that village all parlor and the big pool table inside.
No, what was my other mistake?
That was Anita Shin, the mayor's oldest daughter.
Just a minute, Professor. We're the school board. We need your credentials.
Academic certificates.
Nothing of the kind. Letters and papers.
Make him pull up a bomb!
Oh, what is this I'm hearing? You. Say, ice cream.
Well, ice cream, but I don't say that's what you
No,
mean.
no. Down here.
Ice cream.
Talk slow.
Ice cream.
Now you, sir.
Ice cream!
Ice cream.
Ladies, from now on, you'll never see one of these gentlemen without the other three.
Oh, you're wrong, Mr. Hill. Those men have hated each other for 15 years.
Ice cream! Ice cream! Ice cream! Ice cream!
Mr. Hill, I do not think your intentions are entirely sincere.
How can there be
Any
sin, sin, sin?
Where is the good in goodbye? In goodbye. Your apprehensions
Your apprehensions confuse me, dear.
puzzle and mystify. Mystify, tell me, what can be there in
don't suppose you live alone or anything?
No.
Oh, well, I have some wonderful caramels in my hotel if you would like to.
Mr. Hill.
Oh, no. Professor Hill.
Professor of what? At what university did they give a degree for annoying women on the street like a Saturday night rowdy at a public dance hall?
Oh, I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm a conservatory man myself. Gary, Indiana. Gold medal class of odd 5.
Even should that happen to be true, does that give you the right to follow me around wherever I go? And another thing, Mr. Hill, I'm not as easily mesmerized or hoodwinked as some people in this town, and I think it only fair to warn you that I have a shelf full of reference books in my library in which may very well teach me some interesting information about you.
Hey, Greg. Oh, hey, Mark. Don't call me Greg. Why, So how'd you make out with the music teacher? Oh, scrumptious. She ate out of my hand the minute I tipped my hat. She did? No.
What instrument do you want to play?
I really want to play the trumpet.
Boy, did you kind of swap tonight. For a minute, even I thought you knew something about leaving the band. Just like you said to take that band concert going back to Dublin.
Oh, yeah. Kid stuff. I'm in rare form these days. You just watch me over the next 3 weeks.
3 weeks? You only take 10 days for the instruments to arrive.
Yeah, but it takes 3 weeks for the uniforms.
Oh, no, babe. You didn't order uniforms?
Uniforms and instruction books.
Instruction books? Well, great. You can't even pass yourself as a musical professor. I mean, not for any 3 weeks.
Mars.
But you don't know one note from another.
Oh, but I developed a revolutionary new method called the think system. You don't even have to bother with notes.
But the people want to hear the music. You'll have to lead a band.
But when they get those uniforms, they forget about everything else. At least long enough for me to collect and leave. This is a refined operation, son. I've got it timed right down to the last wave of the brakeman's hand on the last train out of town. Now, if you'll excuse me, Mr. Washburn.
Hannah! Oh, so excited we found you. Looking Oliver. Oh, Professor Hilbert. Oh my God.
What did he need? So excited about friends.
I'm Ethel Toppelmeyer, the piano little girl.
Oh, and I'm Aunt Bedlock, and this is Mrs. Hicks and her mother, and Mrs. Squire. Oh. And of course, you know Miss Laylee and Henry Shin, the mayor's wife. Isn't this exciting, Laylee? Well, I could not say. No, I could not say at this time. My husband will wish to investigate. So naturally, I'm reticent. Oh yes, I'm reticent.
Oh, of course, Miss Shin, but you see, part of my music plans include a committee on dance and, Oh, wait. Do that again.
Do what?
The way you moved your foot just now.
Oh, well, I have a bunion there that bothers.
Oh, what grace! What natural flow of rhythm, what expression of line and movement!
Mr. Bill.
You must accept the chairmanship of the Ladies' Dance Auxiliary for Classic Dance, mustn't she, ladies? Well, every move that you make bespeaks Delsart. Oh, will you say yes, will you?
Why? Eulalie McKechnie Shin. Dancing!
Thank you, accept.
Well, yes, and I'd like to add
Oh,
that
thank you. Now, for the young lady who plays the piano, Marion Peru, I believe? I mean, after all, she is the librarian.
She's the most eligible old man in town.
She still lives with her mother.
Her brother does something awful.
If he even says anything at all.
And Professor Hill. She doesn't even date. Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, cheep, cheep.
She advocates dirty books.
Dirty books.
Ball sack. Touch the ball. I should but that woman. Oh, for God's sake. I'll tell. That woman made brazen overtures to a man who never had a friend in this town, till she came here. Old Miser Madison.
Miser Madison. Madison Gymnasium? Madison Picnic Park. Madison Hospital. That Miser Madison.
Exactly. Who he was, anyway.
Well, I should say that show off. He gave the library a town, or the town library too, didn't he?
But that's just it. When he died, he left the library building to the city.
But he left all the books to her.
She was seen going and coming from his place.
Oh yes, that woman made brazen overtures with a gilded guillotine. Had a golden glint in her eyes, silver bolts with a counterfeit break. To smelt her down, yielding no electric flips, cold as steel hid. For what his heart should be. He left River City from the library, building money, letting it off with books to her.
I have just what you want over at the hotel. Just come with me. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you were probably very young. And besides, anybody can make a mistake.
What?
Oh, no explanations, no apologies. I'll only be in town a while, and the sadder but wiser girl for me.
Would you please make your selection and leave?
But I have.
Well, what would you like to take out?
The librarian!
Quiet, please.
Librarian. Marion, you're not listening to me. Look. Marion. Marbles. 6 Steelies, 8 Aggies, a dozen Kiwis, and 1 big lassie with an American flag in the middle. I think I'll drop them.
No!
Madam Librarian. What can I do, my dear, to catch your ear? I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marian, have the compass. If the library caught on fire, and the volunteer host brigademan had to whisper the news to Marian. Madam Librarian. What can I say, my dear, to make it clear? I need you badly, badly, Madam Librarian. Marian, if I stumbled and I busted my whatchamacallit, I could lie on your floor unnoticed till my body had turned to care. Rian. Madam Librarian. Now in the moonlight, a man could sing. In the moonlight, and a fellow would know that his darling had heard every word of his song. With the moonlight helping along. But when I try in here to tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marian, it's a long lost cause I can never win. For the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin any talking out loud with any librarian, such as Marian. Madam Librarian. I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marion, it's so long lost cause I can never win. For the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin. Any talking out loud with any librarian, such as Madam Librarian. The ladies' dance committee meets on Tuesday nights at the library. Marshmallow? About that, how about I try something here? Come here. Now say it. I love music, Mommy.
I love music, Mommy.
Now you. Me too, Mommy.
Me too, Mom.
I can't believe it. Two boys from the same family with perfect pitch. Now sign here, they were meant to play in a band. Well, not bad, Tommy. 11 sales out of 12 tries. Now it's lunch. How about you go home and get yourself something to eat? I'll try a couple on my own. Goodbye, Professor. Thank you, Tommy.
Just a minute. Are you soliciting? You don't have a license.
Why no, there shouldn't. I collect doorbells. And this one has an unusual tone quality that's...
Flattery will not avail you, sir. Solicitation is statutory in this county. Malfeasance without a license. Why haven't you been down to the city hall with your references?
Just missed you. Oh, no, Mershin, your hand.
What? What?
The spread of the little finger there. It's hereditary.
It is? What does that mean?
It means that your son's little finger is perfectly situated to operate a spit valve on a B-flat flugelhorn.
Is that good?
Good. It means that America's finally produced an artist that can play the minute waltz in 50 seconds.
Where can I get me one of those horns?
Sign right here. That'll be $17 import fee.
Wow. And to think, I might have missed out on this opportunity for my... But I don't have a son.
I never said you did.
Well, I don't.
I think I know if I give you a son. Who are you talking to?
Him.
Him who?
Oh, never mind.
Sanita, call Dr. Nelson for your father on Monday.
Mrs. Peru, do you know that you have the facial characteristics of a cornet virtuoso?
I don't know if that's good, entirely, Professor.
Well, what that means is that if your son has that same firm chin and those splendid cheek muscles, well, by George! Not that he could be ever really great, of course.
Oh, is that so? And didn't they say, Bridget, why not?
Oh, because all the really great cornet players were Irish. Oh, Clark, oh, Klein, oh, Mendez.
But, Professor, we are Irish.
No. Well, that doesn't. Your son was born to play the cornet. Now, sign here. That'll be $7 import fee and Nothing more due until the first payment in the first part of band practice. Ah, thank you. And, of course, I'll need the boy's measurements for his uniform.
His uniform?
Of course, his uniform. Hello there, son. And nothing due until delivery, which gives him 3 weeks to enjoy and anticipate and imagine at no cost whatsoever. Never let the demands of tomorrow interfere with the pleasures and excitement of today.
Will it have a...
Oh, a stripe? Certainly, my boy. A big red stripe down both sides. What do you think of that?
You would have to excuse one for a professor. We can't get him to say 3 words a day, even once. But if you can get him to play in the band, well, you'll have St. Michael's own way with you. And if anybody can do it, I bet you can. Why, out of the crowd, I would pick you for a hard-carrying, clay-pipe-smoking, shamrock-wearing, harp-playing, Motherleen pinching, Terrace old minstrel all-singing Irishman. Begods and be jabbers, where are you from, me boy?
Gary, Indiana.
I knew it. Where did you say?
Gary, Indiana. As a matter of fact, Gary Conservatory was my alma mater.
Oh, was she now?
Yes, gold medal class of Ot 5. Oh, how to do, Miss Peru?
How to do, Mr. Hill?
Peru, I thought that name sounded familiar. I've tried to see you since the other night.
He wants to put Winthrop in the band.
We're not interested, Mama.
But Marion, what if the boy has his father's musical gifts? He does have my job, you know.
Your husband's musical. I sure would love to talk to him. I'm sure that we could
Do you
work out.
understand on everyone's home like this? Prying into personal affairs? We're not interested.
Well,
Marion.
that's 1 for and 1 against. Now, how about we let the boy's father decide?
The boy's father is dead. Anything else?
Well, I'm sorry. But, well, that's all the more reason that your brother should have something like
My
this.
brother is a 10-year-old problem child who can't understand why our father was taken away. Would you care to explain it to him? He's been brooding about it for 2 years. As to your musical tricks, why don't you go into business with some nice carnival man selling gold-painted watches and glass diamond rings?
Musical tricks? Why, I hardly... You know, I think she likes the idea. A bit cautious, perhaps, but I admire that in a woman. Just keep me alive and I'll swing back by here next week.
Oh, one moment, Professor. About the boy's uniform. I make all his clothes. His sleeve is 18, weighs 14, inseam 20.
Thank you. Now that's all I'll need. Now I must get back to the hotel.
Wait, Professor. I do hope you forget Marion. She's not really...
It's okay. I'm sure in her heart, she's as lovely as yourself. Now, good day to you, little Peru.
Has he gone?
He has, and I hope not forever. Oh, darling, don't you ever think of your future? Gary, Indiana, class of Ot 5? Now, darling.
Now, Mama, surely a girl's future does not depend on every fast-talking, self-centered, traveling salesman who comes to town. And the fact that he claims his commodity is music does not, in this particular case, impress me.
All right, darling, all right. But it's a well-known principle. If you keep the flint in one drawer and the steel in another, you'll never spark much of a fire. Now, what are you up to? Why do you need books at this hour of the night?
I have a feeling that this Indiana journal may poke some very large holes in the professor's claims.
Oh, well, I give up. If you don't mind my asking, what kind of a white knight do you expect to come riding along at your age?
Well, I'm not waiting for Luther Reiner, who backs me into the ancient history shelf every time he comes into the library.
Oh, he does?
Or Ed Gamage in that buggy of his. with a removable back seat. But I'm not waiting for a man in shining white armor either.
Zenaida! Oh, Zenaida!
Tommy, Papa and Mama are right there in the parlor. Eat gas.
All right, then meet me after supper.
I can't. It's Burley night. Meet you where?
The footbridge?
You see? Isn't that just what I said? Last time the lumberyard, now the footbridge? Where will it be next? In the black hole of Calcutta? Eat gas.
I only wanted to show you my invention.
What invention?
See, it's the music holder for the marching piccolo player. It has some minor flaws, like when you hold it tight enough to keep the music steady, cuts off the circulation in your fingers, and you can't wiggle them. Meanwhile, you could go blind.
Tommy, it's Papa.
Gee, Clyde.
Is that the first thing I said or not?
Yes, George.
Yes, the very first thing I said, or I'll eat hay with the horse. Get that spellbinder's credentials, I said, morning of July 4th, 1912. And now look, my wife is off dancing at any and all hours, staring in the home.
But, George...
The school board is off singing up street and down alley instead of attending the city business. My daughter's hanging around with wild kids? And my business has fallen off so far, I can't find the balance sheet.
Mayor Shin, I have some very interesting information in this book about Professor Hill's alma mater. His university.
Oh, I know all about that. Matter of fact, that's all I can get out of him. Gary Conservatory, class on 5.
Yes, I know. But you won't have to look any further. It's on a page.
Papa, the Wells Fargo wagon's coming out from the depot.
The Wells Fargo wagon? A likely story at this time of day. Nonsense. The Wells Fargo wagon?
It could be the bandits.
The bandits.
In the meantime, stay off the streets, get to know your instruments, and think the minuet in G. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da.
La-di-da, la-di-da. Sister, isn't this the most skunky, soluble thing you ever saw? I never thought I'd see anything as skunky as this skunky, soluble thing. Oh, sister!
Here you go, son. Round one to you, Mr. Hill, but I better hear some darn tooting out of those horns in short order, or I'll see you in front of the judge over to the county seat. Now, Miss Marion, about that book. You watch your phraseology. You get along if you want to, but I've got to get something from the librarian.
The ladies' dance committee meets on Tuesday nights at the gymnasium.
ladies. Much to do. There's so much to do. Thank you. Take your books. Thank you. Thank you. My. Now, everyone in their places. Places. Oh, there we go. Pay attention, ladies. Yeah.
Well, if you can hold back these kids, then go ahead.
Start her up, Mr. Washburn. Wait till you see the new stuff Professor Hill taught us.
All right, what'll it be?
Mr. Poopy!
Now when a new kiss on the very first date is usually a hussy. But a woman who kisses on the second time out is anything but fussy. But a woman who waits till the third time around, head in the clouds, feet on the ground, she is a girl girl he's glad he's found. She's his shapoopy, 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 shapoopy. The girl is hard to get. Shapoopy, shapoopy, shapoopy. But you can't venture yet. Walk around once as a raised skirt. Walk around twice to make for certain. Once more in the flower garden, she'll never get sore. You beg your pardon. Squeeze her once when she's looking. Get squeezed back, that's hands cooking. Once more for the back forever, she'll never get sore on the way to supper. Now little old Sal was an old gal, as anyone can see. Look at her now, she's an old gal who only goes for me. Squeeze her once when she's looking. Get squeezed back, that's hands cooking. Once more for the back forever, she'll never get sore on the way to supper.
steady behind your back.
Why, you...
We'd like to be doing it in front of your back, but...
Do what?
Well,
never mind.
Savannah's scared of you, but I'm not. I'd hate to have my own daughter scared of me.
I'll warn you one more time. I catch you touching my daughter, I'll my darn horse will be up till hell no won't have it again.
Now, George.
Not one poop out of you, madam.
I think you need to eat.
Yes. Now, get out of this public park.
I was much right to be in this public park as anybody.
Right. Where do you get any right around here? Aiding and abetting the swindling activities of this spell-binding symbol salesman. You know what I see written all over you? Reform school. Now, get out of this public park. Get out, you wild kid.
Papa, it's capitalists like you that make blood in the marketplace. Ye gads.
You watch your phraseology, young woman. Go home. You lady,
yes.
You tend to your dance.
Oh, my dance.
I'll handle Zanita. Taken up with wild kids from the wrong side of town.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just make you understand.
Well, you can. And by the way, thanks for nothing. I read that book you gave me cover to cover for a week, and I haven't found a thing.
Mr. Mayor, if you please.
I'll settle your hash as soon as I get these premises off my oldest girl.
Well,
yes.
In the meantime, I want you to know that I'm vouching for Tommy Gilas. Why, that boy's got the confidence of every kid in town, and you'll be waiting to shake his hand by the time our band plays our first concert.
By the time your band plays its first concert, the individual members will have to foregather in wheelchairs on account of the broken legs they'll get from tripping over their peers. I'll tell you one thing, my fine young feather. My fine feather. Never mind. Oliver, JC, Ewart, Olin, I want that man's references, and I want him tonight. Don't let him out of your sight. He's slipperier than a Mississippi sturgeon.
You want us to get his credentials?
Get his papers, or get him in jail. Couldn't make myself plainer if I was a Quaker on his day off.
Professor Hill, I think the mayor has behaved abominably. And it was wonderful of you to come to Tommy's defense like that.
Oh, that was nothing.
Oh, but it was.
Oh, a man can't dodge the issue every time a little personal risk is involved. Now, what does that famous poet say? Coward dies 1,000 deaths, and a brave man only 500. But unfortunately, the mayor's pretty upset on account of his billiard parlor and all. And, well, a recommendation from a musical authority such as yourself would help, but I just couldn't imagine to ask you to do something.
Oh, but Professor.
You would.
I would love to. I just wish I was a little more informed. I've been meaning to ask you about Winthrop's cornet.
Oh, his cornet. Mother of pearl keys.
I'm sure it's fine. But you see, he never touches it. Oh, the first week or so, he made a few experimental blats, I guess you'd say.
Yes. Blats.
And he sings the minuet in G almost constantly. La-di-da-di-da-di-da. But he never touches the cornet. He says you told him it wasn't necessary. He says something about a think system. He says if he thinks the minuet in G, he won't have to bother with the notes. Now, Professor.
Miss Marion, now, the think system is revolutionary, I'll admit, but so is Galileo's conception of the heavens and Columbus's conception of the egg. I mean, globe. Bach's conception of the well-tempered clavichord. Now, I would love to discuss these things, but I simply couldn't do it in public. So, if you'll allow me to call, when may I call?
Oh, why, any night this week.
Why, Miss Prue, you must join your Del Star committee.
You were so dear tonight.
Dancing with Shabuki with Professor Hill.
You dance like a fairy princess.
With the moonbeam by your floor. You had a golden shimmer in your hair and silver shoes for all to see.
We know that you will soon
A
unfold
forgiving heart as pure as gold.
here, where woman's heart should be.
your credentials.
We are nephew Tad. I see. Well, congratulated. Now, you know, I've tried to give you fellas my references and credentials all week, but you keep changing the subject somehow. Now I have just what you want in my hotel. Just be a minute.
We'll have to go with you.
Oh, well, of course. Now, let's see if I have my key. Ooh, what's this? A note from Madame Marini, testimonial from the only bassoon player to ever make the Red Path circuit. Stage names, of course. Lida Rose Quackenbush.
May I see that a moment?
Never forget a name like that, Lida Rose. Same as that old tune.
It'll go again.
Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose.
To get the sun back in the sky. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, about 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion, I'll pop the question. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Lida Rose, now everyone knows that I'm hoping you're the same. So here is my love song, not fancy or mine. Lida Rose, oh, won't you be mine? Lida Rose, oh, Lida Rose, oh, Lida Rose.
Dream of now, dream of then, dream of our love song that might have been. Do I love you? Oh yes, I love you, and I'll bravely tell you, but only when we dream again. Sweet and low, sweet and low, how sweet that memory, how long ago, forever, oh yes, forever, will I ever tell you? Oh no. Dream of now, dream of then, dream of our love song that might have been. Do I love him? Oh yes, I love him, and I'll bravely tell him, but only when we dream again. Sweet and low, sweet and low, how sweet the memory, how long ago, forever, oh yes, forever, will I ever tell?
Will you ever stop arguing with yourself? Will you ever tell him? Won't you ever tell him? Oh, yes, or no, or fiddlesticks. Just open your mouth and let it come out.
Now, Mama.
No, nothing. If he ever calls again, you will see him alone. And if you haven't the gumption to tell him how you feel...
Tell him?
Well, nothing's wrong with a little lady like him.
Mama,
a good time?
Scrumsiest. He told me all about his hometown, Gary, Indiana, and how he'd take me there someday. He even taught me a song that barely has any S's in it. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, let me say it once again. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, that's the town that knew me when. If you'd like to have a logical explanation, how I happened upon the delicate syncopation, I will say without a moment of hesitation, there's just one place that can light my face. Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana, Paris, that's yet to know. But Gary, Indiana, my home sweet home. If you'd like to have a logical explanation, how I happened upon this elegant syncopation, I will say without a moment's hesitation, there's just one place that can light my face. Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana, Paris, that's near the road. But Gary, Indiana, my home sweet home. I'll be back in a minute. I have to show Amaryllis my live frog. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. La-di-da. La-di-da.
Oh, leave the dishes, Mama. I'll do them.
Don't you have to get ready for the social bowl?
There's plenty of time later.
Shins live around here somewhere?
The Shin residence is on East Elm. This is West Elm.
Ah, criminy. I see you're the piano teacher in town. You must know something about this fella Hill forming a boys' band.
Yes.
But don't I worry you no more. I got the goods on him in spades. Two-bit swindling thimble rigger. That's why I gotta see Shin. I'm just passing through. Number 8 needs a 15-minute water stop. Sure wish it was 20. Would like to concentrate 5 minutes on you, really, girl.
Who are you?
Name's Charlie Cowell, anvil salesman. Just now, though, I'll protect the good name of the traveling fraternity from that swindler.
Oh, Mr. Cowell, you're making a big mistake.
Mistake my old lady's corset color. That fella's been a raspberry seed in my wisdom tooth just long enough. Spoiled Illinois for me, but he's not going to spoil Iowa. Say, what kind of a music teacher are you? You didn't see through him? He's no more a professor.
Oh, I know all about that. Music teachers are often called professor. It's a common misconception. And he's a fine director, and his scholastic...
Now, wait a minute. Fine director? Have you heard a note of music coming from any band?
No, but...
But nothing, girly girl. He's never formed a band in his life, and he never will.
If you'll just listen to me for a minute.
Oh, I'd like to. I'd like to do more than that if I had the time. I sure got the inclination. But I gotta get back on that train, and I gotta deliver this dynamite to somebody on my way to the depot. Bye-bye, girly girl. See you next time through.
Oh, you'll never catch that train on time. You'll have to catch it at the depot.
No, sir. I've got to leave word, and I can see you ain't the one to leave it with.
Oh, but Mr. Cowell, you don't know me yet.
Is that an invitation?
No. But you see, I don't know you.
Well, I'd need more time anyway.
As much as I'd like to.
Oh, no trouble there, girly girl.
I've never met a man who sells anvils before. That's something, well, quite different.
Takes a real salesman, I can tell you that. Anvils don't have universal appeal, you know. What am I doing?
I miss that train and I'll get fired. I've got to leave word about that fella Hill.
Leave word with me.
Not on your tin type. How do I know you'll deliver these letters?
Ooh. Try me. There's your train now. Run for it.
You double-dealing little. You know who you're trying to protect? He's got a girl in every county in Illinois. And he took it away from all of them. And that's 102 counties. Not counting piano teachers he cozies up to keep their mouths shut. Either one of you seen the last of me.
Why rolls on home with it rolls and sweetheart to my name. Good evening, Miss Marianne. I rolls out, everyone knows that I am hoping you're the same. So here's my love song, not fancy or fine. Right or wrong, oh, won't you be mine?
Marion? 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 Who's that you were talking to just? Why, Professor Hill. Why don't you and Marion come up and sit a while? I've got some jelly on the stove.
There's no jelly on the stove, Mama.
Well, I'll put some on.
Shall we, sit, as your mother said?
Well,
Now, you did ask me to call.
Did I? I didn't mean anything by it.
Now, I didn't mean that your invitation inferred to anything more than just academic enlightenment. The think system. I tried to stop by a time or two to explain it, but there always seems to be people around. Mostly ladies, it seems.
Yes, Mrs. Squires and several of the ladies.
Oh, good. I wouldn't want anyone beating my time. You wouldn't? No, ma'am. Well, I can see it's not a convenient night. I'll see you later at the sociable.
Professor, is it true that you've had 100? What I'm trying to say is it true that you've developed a think system?
Oh, a think system. Well, it's as simple as whistling. Now, nobody has to show you how to use your lips in whistling. You just have to think a tune up here, and then have it come out clearly here. Now, just try this before you ask any more questions.
I'll take your word.
Could we sit down?
Are all music teachers as dense as I am?
All music teachers.
I dare say you meet hundreds. Have they all been as fascinated as I am with the think system?
Well, some more and some less. I mean, one young lady thought of the same system before I came to her town. She showed me a few refinements.
I see.
Oh, did I say something wrong?
Oh, please don't let me keep you, Professor. I'm sure you have many more important things to do than explain the think system to me.
I can't think of a one.
And I must be very dull company for a man of your experience.
Now, why would you think something like that?
One hears rumors of traveling salesmen.
Oh, and one shouldn't believe all those rumors that they hear after all. I mean, one hears rumors of librarians.
I assume you're referring to Uncle Matty?
Uncle Matty?
Yes, Mr. Madison, my father's best friend. No matter what they said, he left me an assured job, so Mother Winthrop and I would have some security. Now, surely you don't believe.
No, but I mean, that's exactly what I'm saying. And why do you think those rumors get started?
Narrow-mindedness, jealousy. Jealousy mostly, I suppose.
And jealousy mostly, I suppose, is what starts rumors about traveling salesmen. Now, what did you hear?
Oh, nothing about you personally, just generally.
Well, what did you hear generally?
Well, it stands to reason that narrow-mindedness and jealousy, well, they might often lead to, well, take you, for instance, your attentions to customers, and to, well, music teachers. They might be easily misinterpreted, mightn't they? I mean, honestly, mightn't they? So say if there was another salesman, and he was jealous, well, they could just downright be lies, couldn't they?
What could?
Rumors and things. It just proves that you should never believe everything you hear if you just discuss things.
I would love to discuss anything in this world with you, but couldn't we do it sitting down? I mean, you do sit, your knees, they bend and all.
We could sit on the porch steps.
Or we could sit on an old hollow log down by the footbridge.
I couldn't think of it. I've never been to the footbridge with a man in my life.
Oh, just to talk.
I can't. I've got to change for the sociable.
Well, then meet me there in 15 minutes.
I can't. Maybe tomorrow?
Oh, my dear little librarian. Pile up enough tomorrows and you'll find that you've collected nothing but a lot of empty yesterdays. I don't know about you, but I want to make today worth remembering.
So would I.
Footbridge. 15 minutes.
Mama! What? I just told the professor I'd meet him at the footbridge in 15 minutes.
Oh, glory be and the saints be praised. It works.
What does?
Well, I've been using the think system on you from the parlor.
The uniforms are here, and the kids are all in them, and the people are going to be screaming for music if they show up at social.
Yeah.
Here's most of the dough. I got Tommy to collect it. He's keeping the kids together at least, pretending to hold a practice over at the lumberyard.
Well, did you get the rig?
I got it.
What time does the freight go?
9:40 at the junction.
It's not even 8:30 yet.
Look, you want to turn a whirl around here and get yourself caught in a bunny trap, that's fine. But I'm an arse, Mars.
I'll meet you at the hotel in plenty of time. Now, go get that rig. You're late.
But you said 15 minutes.
Well, what I meant was, you're about 26 years late, taking you all this time to get to the footbridge with the fellow.
Well, if you want to know the truth, it's almost longer.
Oh?
I suppose I'm not the first to find it easier to think clearly when not under the spell of your salesmanship.
Oh, no, clearly, you don't think that I've been trying to sell you.
Oh, no, you've given me something.
I don't recall giving you anything.
Yes, you have. Something beautiful. And that's why I came. Oh, please don't be afraid that I'll expect too much from you. One can't expect a traveling salesman to stay put. I know there have been many ports of call, and there will be many more. But that's no reason for me not to be grateful for what you have left behind. For me.
Marion, There's a lot of things that you don't know about me.
Greg!
I'm expecting a call from Hector Burley. This could be it.
Now what? Who's the salesman? Sounds like she's selling your buying.
You nuts! I didn't even know I was gonna have to leave tonight. And besides, I told you I had to keep her off balance, didn't I?
Well, you have her so far off balance, you can't tell her from a capital in a hurricane.
Hey, you listen here, Buster Brown. I didn't come up through the ranks on this skirmish to leave without my commission. Now beat it.
Greg, you can't get anywhere out here on this footbridge.
Oh, there's a place down by the old picnic park makes this footbridge look like an old lady's home. Now go get that rig. Why, Never a peaceful moment in the music business. Now, where were we?
You were about to tell me what I don't know about you.
We don't have to get into that right now, do we?
No, or ever for that matter, Harold. The librarian hasn't felt much like doing research lately, but she did plenty when you first arrived.
Oh, about what?
Oh, about Professor Harold Hill, Gary, Indiana, gold medal class of '05. Harold, there wasn't a conservatory in '05.
Well, there's certainly...
Because the town wasn't even built until '06. See you at the sociable.
You mean you knew this whole time?
I tore this page out of the Indiana Journal 3 days after you arrived. At first, it was meant to use against you, but now I give it to you with my whole heart.
But if you knew, you little... With 110 cornets right behind, then I modestly took my place as the one and only bass, and I loomed up and down the square.
Good night, my someone. Good night, my love.
With 110 cornets right behind.
Our star is shining, its brightest light.
There were horns of every shape and sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams they be.
Well, 110 cornets played the air.
I wish I may, and I wish I might. Now good night, my someone, good night.
goats. Don't you know you're being swindled out of your eye teeth right now? Just this minute? There's a burglar in the bedroom while you're fiddling in the parlor. And I'm talking about Harold Hill, road agent, highwayman, pickpocket. Same thing. He's had his hand in your wallet, mister, and yours, madam, and yours, little lady, from the moment he arrived in town. There's more documented evidence here than you'll ever have time to read. There isn't any band. There never was any band, and there never will be any band. And if you don't hunt this man down like a mad dog, there won't be any Harold Hill either. He'll be on the next train out of town.
Now will you believe me?
Well, what are we waiting for?
I want my money back.
Money back? I want his hide.
After him! And when you find him, bring him back to the schoolhouse. Try the low road. Look by the creek. Try the mill. Back of the privy. What? Yes! After him!
Now there's two things that you're entitled to know. One, you're a fantastic kid. I thought so from the first. And that's why I wanted you in the band, so you quit moping around and feeling sorry for yourself.
What band?
I always think that there's a band, kid.
And what's the other thing I'm entitled to know?
Well, now that I think about that, it's none of your business.
I bet you never come to River City.
No, you don't, Winthrop.
Sister, you believe him?
I believe every word he ever said.
But he promised us.
I know what he promised us. And it happened just like he said, with the lights and the symbols.
Where was all that?
In the way every kid in this town looked and acted for the last 2 weeks, especially you. And the parents. Does Mama wish he'd never come to River City? No.
Well, you do, don't you?
No, Winthrop. Now go, Harold. Please, go.
Go on, Professor. Hurry up.
I can't go, Winthrop.
Why not?
Well, for the first time in my life, I had my foot caught in the door. There was love all around.
which is why I interrupted the program at this point. Rest assured, this snake in our bosom would have been misapprehended by now. Yes, and always remember, my fellow river citizens, I can only remind you that I did everything in my power to keep this dire happening from, happening. Fourscore.
What have you done to get our money back? Yeah, that professor, he's collected nearly $300 for uniforms just tonight.
Yeah, and we haven't even seen those uniforms yet.
He's slippery, I told you.
Well, I haven't seen any uniforms or my son since just after supper.
He's a kidnapper.
What situation we have here?
Fourscore and just a minute. Virtue has triumphed. The sword of retribution has cut down Professor Harold Hill. And if there are those, as I have heard, that are melting tar and collecting feathers, I will not say them nay.
Well, surely there ought to be some of you who can forget our everlasting Iowa chip-on-the-shoulder arrogance long enough to remember River City before Harold Hill arrived. Do you remember? Well, do you? Surely you ought to be grateful for what he's brought to River City. And if so, I should think you would want to admit it.
You're wasting a great deal of time here. If there's a person in this hall who feels this man Hill should not be tarred and feathered, let him stand up. Eulalie, sit down. And the rest of you, standing there like a coat of Shropshire sheep, have you forgotten that you purchased expensive band instruments, technical instruction manuals, and high-priced band instruments? Have you forgotten the express warranty and promise that your children would be taught to play in a band? Well, where's the band? Where's the band?
All right. Think, men. Think.